All right, this is the Model Mania 2026 part. We're going to use this as an example to try to improve our SOLIDWORKS CAD design skills. So let's take a look and develop a plan of attack here to do this in the most efficient way possible. I'm seeing symmetry here. It's specifically called out horizontally and vertically. So I'm immediately thinking I'm going to be leveraging the front and right planes. I see a height here. I'm going to use the top plane with that in mind. I'm seeing angles 5 degrees, so I'm immediately thinking about using draft. And I'm also seeing uniform wall thickness of 2 millimeters. That's incredibly important, and I know that I'm going to be using the shell feature here to help me create this. So I think what I'll do is I'll develop a little rectangular section, cut it out, add the little bosses, the holes, and shell it, and then fillet it. And ultimately, we're looking for the mass of this. So with that being said, let's dive right in and take a look at how to create our Model Mania from 2026. All right, here we are in SOLIDWORKS 2026. We're going to get started with a new part, clicking OK. We'll be started with our blank canvas here, and immediately we have to change our unit so we don't mess this up. Millimeters, grams, seconds is what we're going to work in. And just like I said with the plan, we're going to start a new sketch on the top plane. I'll keep my mouse towards the center here and leverage the S key as much as possible. Center point rectangle, click to place that point, S key again, grab the dimension tool, and I'm going to start to define this 127 millimeters wide. And we have a height here of 50 millimeters. And now let's start adding our arcs on the side. A 3-point arc tool, click to place the 2 points and make sure that we have a tangency added. These 2 points here need to be vertical. Click with the control key, place that vertical constraint. And then lastly, we're going to add our radius of 63.5. Now I know that this needs to be symmetric, so I'm going to add a center line that's vertical from the origin here. Once I click to place this, I'm going to click the S key again. I don't have mirror here, so I'll search for it, MIRR, find it, click it, launch the command. Entity to mirror is the arc, mirrored about the center line here, using my right mouse button to click from next to next and OK. And we're going to use this as a contour to extrude the height of 25 millimeters. So saved a lot of time there by using contour select. I didn't need to trim anything or do anything else. And can't forget the draft here. We have 5 degrees, making sure I draft that in the right direction, clicking OK, verifying that I think things look pretty good here. So now, again, leveraging that symmetry, a spherical cut at the top. This was specifically called out. So what I'm going to do is draw essentially a quarter of a sphere. I'm going to use the arc tool here. Make sure I have the arc looking right to make it spherical. I need to make sure that the center point is lined up here with the top point that I placed. That gives me that spherical shape. Size it properly. It's called out as a radius of 127 millimeters. So let's make sure we click to place that. Now that's only one line. I need a contour here to leverage the revolved cut tool. But what I'm going to do is revolve it around this axis, and I'm going to make sure that I don't use dummy geometry and I just do a thin feature and basically use that to connect my contour revolved around that axis so that I can save time. I need to click to place my holes here. I'm going to get started with my midpoint or center line here, vertical again. Click to place my circle, not at the origin. It's going to be over to the side horizontally. Click to place, and then the relationship here to define that that is horizontal. Make sure it's sized properly at 9 millimeters. So click into place that. Now here is one of my favorite tricks. Because I placed that center line there, I can dimension the circle, not just from there to the center line, but double it if I know I'm going to mirror it to make sure I don't have to do any math. All that matters there is my mouse position. So now I can start to extrude through all. Can't forget my draft. This isn't looking right. Make sure I add the drafts, and let's flip the direction. That looks right from visual inspection. Now Trick here is it's not directly off this bottom face. I'm going to change the cut extrude to be offset and make this be 2 millimeters up to maintain that wall thickness. Make sure the direction is correct. Click OK. And that is looking good. The cut starts 2 millimeters offset from the face that I drew that on. So now we're cooking. What I'm going to do is a mirror of that feature, leveraging my plane. I know that the right plane goes right through the center. Click the feature, mirror that. Okay, now I have my 2 holes. And I think now we're ready to add the last little bit of the features. I need to add the 4 millimeter diameter holes on the bottom. Because I have those center points already shown, it's just easiest to make these 2 circles, make them equal, dimension one of them. I'm not using mirrors. I'm just thinking about speed here. And once I have the actual shapes, the circular contours, I'm going to change it to be a through all cut, not thinking about the math there. We're ready to go. Now, lastly, we have to add that uniform wall thickness, specifically called out. That's the shell command. The wall thickness of 2 millimeters, and we're going to remove this face. Leaves everything else 2 millimeters behind. Perfect. Now, very last little bit is the fillets. They're all called out in red on the drawing. These were all 2 millimeters. Click, use my quick access toolbar there. Click the face, it connects all of them together. And just like that, we have our shape, all the features called out. What we need to do here is basically add a material so that it knows the density value. So when we click mass properties, we see 25.0 grams. Perfect. Couple things to talk about here. The fillets are colored in red. I want to just show you what this is here. So click the appearance on the feature, click to change the color. Let's add red. Now we're looking exactly like the part. Just look at it, visual inspection, making sure we got that for clarity's sake. And then I want to show you that offset. Let's cut a section through here, and looking at my the cut extrude command, not this one. Let's get out of here. And let's go back to the original one here. If I change that from being sketch plane, it goes directly from where I sketched it. And that's not what I needed. I needed that wall thickness of 2. So the trick here is to use that offset command. And that is Model Mania for SOLIDWORKS 2026. Hope this helped.